In our last regional quarterfinals analysis, we looked at the World Cup through the map of FIFA regions. Not just team versus team, but Europe versus South America, Africa versus expectation, CONCACAF versus pressure, Asia and Oceania versus reality. We looked at which regions had the strongest hand going into the quarterfinal race. Now the picture is clearer. Some regions are still fighting, some regions are pretending, and one region has just watched its biggest giant pack its bags. Before we even update the regional race, we have to deal with the result that changed everything. Brazil are out. Norway beat Brazil 2-1, and this was not just another knockout result. This was the five-star football empire being dragged out of the tournament by a team that refused to respect the name on the shirt. Brazil came into this match carrying history, expectation, talent, and that famous yellow jersey that usually makes opponents nervous before the ball is even kicked. But Norway did not come to admire the museum. They came to compete. Brazil had moments. Of course they did. Brazil always have moments. They have players who can dribble out of traffic, create danger from nothing, and make you feel like the match can turn in 10 seconds. But that was the problem. Brazil had moments. Norway had a plan. Norway were direct, disciplined, physical, and brave. They did not try to out-Brazil Brazil. They did not enter a samba competition. They played their own football. They pressed when they needed to press. They stayed compact when they needed to suffer. They attacked with purpose when Brazil gave them space. And when the chances came, Norway hurt them. Brazil, on the other hand, looked like a team waiting for their reputation to solve the problem. And reputation does not track runners. History does not defend crosses. 5 stars on the shirt do not stop a counterattack. So when the final whistle came, it was not just Brazil leaving the World Cup. It was South America losing its biggest safety net. It was Europe gaining another serious contender. It was CONCACAF looking at that side of the bracket and saying, wait a minute. And it was the rest of the tournament receiving one message. No giant is safe. If Brazil can go home, anybody can go home. That is why this result matters. Because Brazil's exit does not only change one match, it changes the regional race. Brazil out, regional race changes. Brazil are out, and that changes everything. Welcome back to Daily Roast News. Today we update the regional race, briefly, sharply, and without giving participation trophies. This is no longer just about who reached the quarterfinals. This is now about which FIFA region still has a real path to the semifinals. Let us start with Europe, UEFA. Europe was already the strongest region in this knockout race. Now, with Brazil out, Europe becomes even stronger. Probability of at least one semifinalist, 99%. France are already in the quarterfinals. They topped their group with maximum points, smashed Sweden 3-0, then handled Paraguay 1-0. It was not beautiful against Paraguay, but France do not care about beauty. France can win like artists, and they can win like accountants. Spain also looks strong. They topped their group with control, then beat Austria 3-0. Spain are still treating possession like private property. Portugal survived Croatia 2-1. Not perfect, but dangerous. They have quality, experience, and enough attackers to punish one mistake. England topped their group and beat DR Congo 2-1, but England still have that special talent of turning a match they should control into a national stress test. Belgium beat Senegal 3-2. Good going forward, questionable at the back. Belgium can score, but they also defend like the door has no lock. Switzerland beat Algeria 2-0. Quiet, disciplined, boring, but dangerous. Switzerland are not glamorous. They are the tax audit of football. And now Norway have become a real story. They already beat Ivory Coast 2-1, and now with Brazil out, Norway are no longer just a dangerous European outsider. They are the team that changed the temperature of the tournament. Europe's strength is depth. Too many teams, too many routes, too much experience. And now one of South America's biggest giants is gone. But the roast is simple. Europe may dominate, but Europe is also busy eliminating Europe. Spain versus Portugal, England under pressure, Belgium looking shaky, France facing Morocco, Norway now carrying giant killer energy. This region has power, yes, but also ego, nerves, and a habit of making things dramatic. Verdict: Europe should produce at least one semi-finalist, probably 2. With Brazil out, anything less would be football malpractice. Now, South America, CONMEBOL. This is where Brazil's exit changes everything. Probability of at least one semi-finalist, 60%. Before Brazil went out, South America had 3 serious cards: Brazil, Argentina, Colombia. Now one of those cards is gone. And not just any card. Brazil, the 5-star brand, the football royalty, the team that walks into every World Cup carrying history, pressure, rhythm, trauma, and unreasonable expectations. Brazil topped their group with 7 points and beat Japan 2-1. But even that Japan match showed they could be made uncomfortable. And now they are out. That is not just a team going home. That is South America losing its biggest safety net. Argentina now become the main regional hope. They were perfect in the group stage with 9 points, then beat Cape Verde 3-2. That is both impressive and suspicious. Scoring 3 is good. Conceding 2 to Cape Verde in a knockout match is the football equivalent of leaving your front gate open and saying, "Don't worry, we are safe." Colombia topped their group with 7 points and beat Ghana 1-0. That is a serious knockout profile. Organized, disciplined, and able to win ugly. South America's strength is still pedigree and individual quality. Argentina can suffer and survive. Colombia can frustrate and punish. But Brazil are gone. And that changes the mathematics. The roast? South America must stop asking history to score goals. The shirt is powerful, yes, but the shirt does not defend corners. The badge does not finish chances. And now Brazil's 5 stars are watching the tournament from home. Verdict: South America still has a real chance through Argentina and Colombia, but Brazil's exit has wounded the region badly. 1 semi-finalist is still possible. 2 would now be a statement. 0 would be a continental embarrassment. Now Africa, CAF. Probability of at least 1 semi-finalist, 42%. Africa's main hope is still Morocco. Morocco have been serious from the first round. They finished the group stage with 7 points, beat the Netherlands on penalties, then destroyed Canada 3-0. That is not luck. That is structure. That is discipline. That is belief. That is a team no longer begging for respect. Morocco now face France. And this is where the story becomes big. Because if Morocco beat France, Africa does not just enter the semi-final conversation. Africa kicks the door open. Egypt are also alive, but their route is much harder. They came through the group with 5 points and beat Australia on penalties. They can survive pressure, but now they face Argentina. That is not a match. That is an exam with no calculator. Africa's strength is momentum and hunger. Morocco have the best route. Egypt have the chaos route. But the roast is painful. Africa has collected too many brave performance speeches, too many "they made us proud" headlines. At some point, pride must become a semifinal. Verdict: CAF has a real chance through Morocco. If Morocco beat France, the whole tournament changes. Egypt are the long-shot shock option. Now, CONCACAF. Probability of at least 1 semifinalist, 35%. CONCACAF still has Mexico and the USA. And Brazil going out slightly improves the regional mood. Why? Because if Mexico beat England, the route no longer carries the same Brazil-sized shadow. Norway are still dangerous, very dangerous, but psychologically facing Norway is not the same as facing Brazil with 5 stars and a museum full of football ghosts. Mexico have been strong. They topped their group with 9 points and beat Ecuador 2-0. That is not vibes. That is form. Mexico have home energy, momentum, crowd pressure, and confidence. But now comes England, and that is where Mexico must prove they are not just a loud stadium with flags. The USA also look alive. They topped their group, beat Bosnia 2-0, and have athleticism, speed, and confidence. But they face Belgium, and Belgium can hurt you even when they are defending like a WhatsApp group with no admin. CONCACAF's strength is home advantage and energy. Mexico have the stronger route emotionally. USA have the athletic route. Both need statement wins. But the roast? Home advantage does not score tap-ins. The crowd cannot mark attackers. The stadium cannot stop Belgium or England from punishing mistakes. Verdict: CONCACAF has an outside chance. Mexico are the best hope, USA are dangerous, and Brazil's exit helps the mood. But both must prove this is more than noise, flags, and home cooking. CONCACAF 35. Now quickly. Asia and Oceania. AFC and OFC are out of the semifinal race. Probability 0%. Asia showed progress, especially Japan pushing Brazil and Australia taking Egypt to penalties. But progress is not a semifinal ticket. And now, funny enough, Japan can look at Brazil going out and say, at least we gave them a game. Oceania competed, learned lessons, and left. Roast, Asia played some good football and still went home with compliments. Oceania came for experience and got exactly that, experience. AF, so here is the updated regional picture. Europe, 99%, strongest chance, no stronger after Brazil's exit. No, see. South America, 60%, still dangerous but wounded. Africa, 42%, Morocco carried the dream. CONCACAF, 35%, Mexico and USA need statement wins. Asia, 0%, eliminated. Oceania, 0%, eliminated. Final word, Europe has the numbers. South America had Brazil, now they have pressure. Africa has hunger. CONCACAF has the home crowd. But the ball does not care about continents. The ball does not care about history. The ball does not care about noise. And clearly, the ball does not care about Brazil's 5 stars either. The ball only asks one question. As the tournament moves toward the semifinals, who has the courage to walk through? This has been Daily Roast News, where football gets analysis and regions leave with emotional damage.